They tried to break me with the pain, but I still remain. Guys, it's no surprise when I rise again. Learn to trust the law, if there's a plan and I'm the brain. My flow will turn a tug of war rope into a diamond chain. If my environment is messed up, it don't mean that I'm the same. Born at the bottom up, the only place that I can aim. People got the umbrella before the lightning came. Cause in this concrete jungle, the lion reign. So try to mess with me, I don't get phased. I just act like I don't see your bullshit ways. And yo, remember that I never slack to write a better rap. It's told my soul is where the gold and the treasure at. So I'm not stressing when these guys hate. They so thirsty for attention that they dehydrate. You'll never see side fake. The nice with these mics, still I'm fighting for my life like he's live bait. Word to mama, watch out for a piranha. I'll blow the ganja, I'm like my swift with molten lava. Get kinda chill when it's time for me to blaze, so I won't imitate or react to your evil ways. I'm on a mission, on a journey when you saw me, friend. The role your character plays won't change how my story ends. Yo. There's good and there's evil, what the devil got cooking. Never think about what people do when you're not looking. A lot of things happen when you thought they couldn't. A lot of things happen when they really shouldn't. They try to use the blinding lights and the smoke screen, but I'ma see this through the fingers and act like I don't see. I try to live like my mother told me, but I'ma see this through the fingers and act like I don't
see through my fingers. You think I ain't watching, but I see who's the winner, and he'll eat you for dinner. Cornballs get signed, but I can see through this illa. Setbacks, hard times make you lethal and realer. You had me believing, scheming and big dreaming, until we was hiding and seeking. I caught you peeking. Play fair, or else the fun just ain't there. Like you arrived on time and forgot your train fare. I know you see things and act like you didn't, cause when you get caught to the stand, it's called snitching. You might be inflicting pain or catch your ass whipping. You don't wanna get caught slipping.
There's good and there's evil, what the devil got cooking. Never think about what people do when you're not looking. A lot of things happen when you thought they couldn't. A lot of things happen when they really shouldn't. They try to use the blinding lights and the smoke screen, but I'ma see this through the fingers and act like I don't see. I try to live like my mother told me, but I'ma see this through the fingers and act like I don't see.
I spread my index and middle finger and look through myself into the eyes of winter. Cold as hell, 6 months between beginning and end. 6 days for the sea lions to make me understand. Time flies frequently as we love the life of plans secretly. I speak to them and they speak to me. Generations tell tales of struggle throughout the world. Excuse me while I kiss the sky and see about a girl. In the end, I'm just an instrument of my genetics. The static is giving me headaches, morality and ethics. Am I worthy of the mark of man? I define it. From New Jersey to U-Town is one climate. Global warming up for revolutions per minute. Adding up to evolution, infinite, finite. Beyond our species, there'll be a next one. All part of the very same big electron. Like whoa, 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 whoa. It sound like whoa, 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 whoa. Bumper Docs, Cymarshalllaw, Skid Slam.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. I said, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, yo.
In these last days and times as the earth spins faster, I often fantasize about life in the hereafter. Paradise, the afterlife, land of the pleasant. I dream of how my life will be when I get to heaven. I don't embrace the taste of death, but I don't fear it. Visions of heaven draw me near it. Everlasting life in the spirit. I obeyed the commandments and universal laws. I prophesied about heaven. This is what I saw. I was placed in the land of milk and honey. Fascination. I was given powers beyond the average imagination. But peep this. What I saw next left me speechless. In heaven, everyone has the same level of uniqueness. In heaven, there's no greed, no need for worldly things. No diamond-studded rings. Peasants become kings. I don't know about you all, but this is where I've got to live. Where men and women don't have to be so provocative and live as true kings. See it in the way we do things. Intoxicate your minds without that gin and juice that Snoop brings. By far, in heaven, the world is ours. No more drugs, money, and cars. Just suns, moons, and stars reunited with the universal family. The man in me can't wait for heaven to fulfill my wildest fantasies. As I search for better days and praise the number 7 when I get to heaven.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, yo. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, yo. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Monday, April 19th, 2021. Cymarshalllaw show. You are a superhero. Let's go.
Again, it's the last emperor. These lyrics won't leave you gassed. In heaven, I encounter famous spirits from the past. I crack jokes with black folks like Robin Harris and Red Fox. Lounging with Bob Marley, giving me tips on my dreadlocks. To put it loosely, an angel would introduce me to all these famous people. I learned kung fu from Bruce Lee. The best rhymes on the best labels. Doing shows with Scott LaRock and Prince Messiah on the tables. Discussing politics with Mountie Tongue and Malcolm. By chance, Queen Latifah's brother Lance would do production on my album. Heavenly tracks with heavily rhyming. Jimi Hendrix on guitar, vocals by Phyllis Hyman. Yes, in heaven, my album would be a smash, generating cash, serving rappers like Arthur Ashe with an uncensored free voice. I can rejoice. Look over there, that's Heavy D's boy, Trouble T. Roy. He's kicking dance steps with Sammy Davis Jr. If I'd have known heaven was gonna be like this, I'd have been here sooner. Where heavily MCs will be, no robbery, no thievery, no police brutality for Eazy-E. And all of our loved ones that passed away, take it from me, someday we'll all be free like Donny Hathaway. I'll make the world feel my presence until I'm called back to the essence and I get to heaven.
Fresh, so fly, bright in paradise. So fresh, so fly, bright in paradise.
It's like 1 for the physical, 2 for the spirit, 3 for hip-hop that makes your heads bob when you hear it. My mind's in heaven and I'm loving it. No politicians, no government, no Democrats, no Republicans. And other men might create a civilization where hip-hop rules, the emperor rocks the nation. There's no stress in heaven, we all relax. And real lyricists sign record contracts. Not these gun-toting, blood-smoking crossover acts. Lying on wax, claiming they drop facts. Imagine possibly no animosity or malice. Where your home is a palace.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Turn that instrumental up a little bit. Yeah. Hope y'all feeling good this morning. Welcome to another Monday, Cymarshalllaw show. Good vibes and positive energy only. Good vibes and positive energy only. Hope y'all had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend myself. Went out to Maryland this past weekend. Checked out my homeboy, you know what I'm saying? A little trip I had to take. My boy, got a new house, you know what I'm saying? Got to see the kids, you know what I'm saying? But that was my weekend. I'm here to say that I hope that we're going to have a great week this week. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things coming up, and we're going to get into the show. Let's start with the morning prayer as per usual. Turn this down a little bit. Shout out to my niece, Clyde Asia, whose birthday it was yesterday. Shout out all the Aries season. Morning prayer. Universal gods, God, great architect, Jah, cosmic intelligence, the all, universe, love. We thank you for allowing us to wake up today, for allowing us to put our feet on the floor, stand up, and praise the Most High, for the sun that shines on our face, for the food that we eat, for the wind that we feel on our skin, for the earth that we walk on. Universal gods, thank you for today, thank you for yesterday, and thank you for tomorrow. Thank you for all the blessings you will give to us. Thank you for all the blessings you will shower us with in the future, in the past, and in the present. Universal gods, thank you for our health, our wealth, our knowledge of self. God, thank you for our spiritual awareness. Thank you for abundance, and thank you for affluence. Thank you for great personalities coming into our lives. Thank you for adding people to our lives that hold value and subtracting people that are dead weight. Universal gods, thank you for the love. Thank you for the positive energy. And thank you for today. We're going to have a great week, and we are blessed upon blessed upon blessed. Thank you. Amen. Yeah. So today I wanted to speak about, let me play Eternal's beat. Play this beat, my bad, technical difficulties. I want to play this beat because the beat is called Eternals, and Eternals is the new Marvel movie coming out later on this year, and it's a superhero joint,
and I can't wait to see it. It's supposed to be like another version of another like a new Marvel. How do I say this? Another new Marvel franchise. Like they're starting a whole new Guardians of the Galaxy. Although the Eternals have existed in comic books forever, so they're not a new superhero team. However, I'm just saying like it's gonna be a new franchise for the MCU, which is dope, which I am very excited to see. So yeah, man, I wanted to speak about today how we're all superheroes. We are all superheroes. We are all superheroes. And I wanted to start with good morning, Marvin. Peace, my brother. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So I wanted to start with just speaking on how when I was younger, the first thing I ever remember wanting to be, lives where they didn't have, and I never quite understood how people could live outside when I was just, really, really young. So watching TV or whatever, I was able to see that people lived opposite to this, where not only were they not homeless, but they had more than enough. They had more than enough food, more than enough living quarters, more than enough everything. And I just really couldn't understand how the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. And then I saw things like my first favorite cartoon was the Robin Hood joint, where he was the fox. And that was the first time I saw that the rich were getting richer and the poor were getting poorer, but somebody was down to do something about it. You know what movie I'm talking about? The old Robin Hood joint where the fox is Robin Hood and the king is the tiger, and he always has the crown that's crooked on his head, and he's like slouches back in his throne. So yeah, that was the first joint I saw where I was like, yo, you know what? I want to be a superhero. I want to grow up and make sure I'm able to make a difference. And I quickly found that I wasn't able to make a difference in the way that I thought I would be, because I always thought that you needed money to make a difference. But I quickly found that you don't need money to make a difference. You don't need money at all to make a difference. The biggest difference you're ever going to make in your life is going to start with yourself, because when you start making changes within yourself for the better, you actually you end up bettering other people just because you better yourself. So I always found like the quickest way for me to help people and be like a superhero was to work on my own self, right? And when you work on your own self, everybody takes notice, whether that's your friends, your family, no matter who it is. Shout out to Paris for listening, for tuning in, Terrell. So I'm saying that when I was young, the greatest thing I wanted to have the cape. I used to go outside and like try to shoot beams from my chest, because I had like this feeling inside of me, this fiery feeling inside of me. But that feeling inside of me that has never left me to this day is my love and compassion for people. Like, I've never been the type of person to be able to see somebody in distress or pain or hurt and just ignore it like it means something to me. So when KRS-One said a long time ago, true hip-hoppers are the ones that speak out when something is wrong. True hip-hoppers are the ones that have music with a message. True hip-hoppers are people that express the struggle. They express their pain in order to drag others out of the struggle. I was like, oh shit. If I become a hip-hop artist, that's an avenue for me to be a superhero, because I could use my words and I could use my thoughts to hopefully inspire and influence people. So a lot of times people think, like, I can't help anyone if I don't have the money, if I don't have the resources. But the true way to help other people is, number one, by helping yourself. And number two would be by words. Words. I feel like people struggle to communicate, because when you communicate your truth and somebody doesn't understand it, it's very it makes you not want to speak your truth anymore. It's like you show your true self, you show your true feelings, and if like you do that and put yourself on the spot and other people are not in agreement with you, it like makes you sink back down in your shell, put your your head back into your turtle shell, because not everyone might have the same heart as you. And that's what another thing that I found. There's a lot of people walking around and they don't have pure hearts because they might have been through certain things. And I'm saying there's times in everybody's life where we're not the best of ourselves. There's been times in my life where I haven't been the best. And that's the thing about superpowers and, things of this nature. Because I know you always see in the movies that when someone becomes a great superhero, there's two ways they can go. They can either go to the dark side or they can go to the good side. So this love and this fire that a lot of us have inside of us that doesn't allow us to walk past things and ignore things that are wrong. The same thing happens for other people, but it forces them to the dark side. Like when they see an opportunity to step on somebody so they can get higher, or when they see an opportunity to, whatever it is, just steal, just come up on someone by way of not good means, but way of, like, sometimes I think when some people are like acting in certain ways, like, do you ever think about karma? Because before I do anything, because I feel like I'm a superhero, I know that the universe is my extended body. Like, the universe is literally a part of me. So the things that I put out will come back. So I always think about karma before I do things. Because, like, let's say I steal something from you, right? And this is me knowing how, this is me going to Xavier's School of the Gifted Youngsters and understanding how my superpowers work. I understand that if I steal something from you, these are my powers at work, that someone is going to steal something from me. I also understand that if I give you good vibrations and positive energy, the same things are going to come back to me. Now, a lot of people do not believe in these superpowers. There's like, karma, they understand karma and they might think it's real, but it's like the same thing almost as having faith. Faith is believing in something that you can't see. And because karma is not something you can physically see with your eyes, a lot of people tend to ignore it. They'll quote it. They'll be like, karma, what goes around comes around. But then they'll move in ways where it's like, oh, you're not keeping karma at the front of your mind. Word is bond. Karma is in front of my mind every time I do something. And I tell you what else. Every time in my life that something has went wrong in my life, or I've caught an L, I have known I was doing wrong before I did it. And that's how karma, I believe, works. It's like a lot of times I've been able to justify what I feel is right to me. And I feel like when people feel they're right, it's hard for them to know when things are going wrong, because it's like you ever get into a conversation with someone and you cannot get through to them at all because everything they're saying is just they're right, and they're just not listening. It's like whatever this person says, no matter what they're saying, they're always right. And I say that to say that's not necessarily a good thing. However, people that truly justify things in their heart as right tend to not see when the karma comes back, because how could it be for them? They were right. They were always right. But karma comes for everybody. And it's just like, if you know how to use your energy, if you know how to use, the universal laws, then you then could become a superhero. Additionally, when you see somebody being a superhero, like in the news or whatnot, in the news, but like on TV in the MCU and the DC, the biggest superheroes, the greatest superheroes, never really have to use their superpowers to be super. I don't know if you peep that, but it's like they use their intelligence, they use their heart. And the greatest superheroes in my life have been the people that cared for me. Like my mother, my father. So it's like a lot of times people are out here doing super things, like working when they have no energy, giving all their love to their children, giving all their love to their grandparents, helping out those in need. And those are the people that are actual real life superheroes. Like you, my friend, listening to this right now, I believe there's been a time in your life where you could have been considered a superhero, but no one may have not given you the credit for it because they're like, oh, this person's just, they always act like that. And it's a lot of times, a lot of people, if they have good hearts, the people around them are just so used to them having a good heart. They're so used to Tony Stark being Tony Stark. They're so used to Batman being Batman that sometimes the superhero doesn't get credit for the super things they're doing, and they're going to school busting their asses, they're going to work doing the best of their abilities, and then they're coming home tired and still being a good person and still putting out the best of their positive energy. And it's like, a lot of times they don't get the credit for it. But guess what? Superheroes don't always need the credit. After Superman saves someone, or a lot of times the superhero flies away, and then the person that goes around to turn around and say thank you, they don't even get a chance to say thank you for the superhero, because the superhero's not there for the thanks. You know what I'm saying? They're there because it's who they are to be a good person. Because the love in their hearts is what's going to save us all. Everybody can't be a good guy. And unfortunately, the world is filled with positive and negative. It's like, how will we ever know positive if we don't have negative? How will we know light if we don't have the dark? So we always going to have the anti-hero. We always going to have the hero. We always going to have two sides to the story. And it's like, I feel like a lot of times we need one to understand the other. If you don't have the sun, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have the rain, if you don't have the storms, how will you appreciate when the sun comes out? So it's like, who are you going to be in your story? Who are you going to be today? These are my questions. So I want to get into the artist of the week. The artist of the week is this brother named Last Emperor, one of my favorite MCs. He's been killing it for a long time, and he's highly underappreciated. And to me, when I first got into hip hop, I used to like go to New York and go to like Philadelphia, and I always used to meet up with these dope ass MCs, and they used to have names like the Last Emperor. And I used to look at these brothers like they were superheroes, because they were using their words, they were using their vision to control and create their realities. And I feel like these are superheroes. It's like when you are able to manifest something out of nothing, to me, you're a superhero. You know what I'm saying? When you seen Tony Stark first building the Iron Man suit, he pretty much had nothing, but he was able to build something from pretty much nothing. So when you see like an author, when you see a painter, when you see somebody doing something that they created from their imagination, to me, that's a superhero. Because that's what superheroes have to do. They're in a crunch and they have to use their imagination to create. So if you're someone like that who can draw from your imagination and your inner energies, if you can draw from the universe, because the universe has all these gifts for us, if we're able to be silent and draw from the universe, everything is there for us. Everything is there for us. And some people, like artists, are able to draw from this unlimited stream of creativity that the universe has to offer, and they're able to pluck things out of this universal stream, and that's how they create. A lot of times people think that their creations are coming from themselves, but the creations all come from the universe. The creations come from the universal law, the universal link that we have to the universe. I said the universe is our extended body, so everything the universe has to offer, the unlimited creativity within the universe, is given to me if I'm able to accept it. And I feel like a lot of people do not use this superpower because they don't acknowledge that they're connected to the universe. Sometimes people say, "Sai, do you ever get writer's block?" And my answer is always no, I don't get writer's block, because I understand that I can get quiet. Just like the beat got quiet, and I can get quiet. And I can allow the universe to send me ideas, because everything is there for us. It's like when you're in a jam, when you're in a problem, and that's another thing. It's good I'm talking about this. As far as being a superhero, when you're in a jam and you're in a problem, something is not going right in your life, and you're trying to figure out, like, how can I get out of the situation? Every avenue and street seems to be blocked to me. No one's helping me. Everything seems closed down. How can I get out of this situation? Right? The universe, you are unlimited. If you can quiet yourself, because everything is always running through our hearts and minds, and if we're not able to quiet our minds and hearts, then we can't get these superpowers from the universe. You have to be able to sit still and give yourself some time, whether it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. But if you're able to quiet your heart and quiet your mind and stop accepting energies that are not your own, because we wake up, we watch TV, we talk to people, we go on social media, and immediately all these energies start coming into us that are not our own. And if we're not careful, it's hard for us to be clear on what's really ours. because social media is feeding us. The people we talk to are feeding us, and we don't always talk to good people. Sometimes we talk to people that don't have anything good to say. But if we take their words to heart, then for the rest of the day, we carry around that energy. A lot of times we get into maybe an argument, or we get into a beef that lasts 2 minutes, and then we carry around that energy for the rest of the day. But these are the things that are stopping us from being superheroes. It's like we have to be pure and honest and be able to be quiet and accept what the universe is trying to give to us, because each day, the universe wants us to succeed. If there's something in your heart right now that you want, know damn well the universe is trying to bring that thing to you. And the reason why it might not be getting to you is because there might be too much noise in your heart and in your brain. So in order for you to use your superpowers, in order for you to, it's like when you ever watch like or play a video game, right? And you're going through the video game, and there's one spot in the video game where you go to stand on this spot and you recharge and your life comes back up. Well, that's the thing with life. If you never recharge yourself, your superpowers will never come back up to full capacity. And a lot of us are just out here running, using all of our energy and is tiring ourselves out. You know what I'm saying? We're using our energy on things we don't love. We're using our energy to eat foods and to put things in our body that are bringing our energy levels down. They're bringing our superpowers down. And a lot of us don't feel like, we don't understand that these are the sources of our superpowers. Vitamins, minerals, eating healthy, talking kind to people, other people talking kind to you. These are how our superpowers grow. And it's like, if we go out in the world without our full sleep, our full energy, our vitamins, our minerals, a good heart, a good spirit, when it's time, when the opportunity arises for us to use our superpowers, for us to be super, we're not going to be able to do it because we didn't treat ourselves good. So remember, our number one rule for becoming a superhero is treating yourself good. And I'm going to keep harping on that. That's what the Cymarshalllaw show is about, because every day I see people that are not treating themselves good. Shit. This past weekend, I had a drink or two. Like, I was drinking, and as I was drinking, or when I was thinking drinking, I was just looking at the bottle like, it was definitely poison that I put in myself. And I'm not trying to make y'all not, drink or always do everything right. But my point is that I know what gives me energy. I know what's good for me, and a lot of times we act like we don't know what's good for us. We stay in these relationships, we stay in these jobs, we keep doing things to our body and our minds that we know are not helpful, and then we turn around and complain when we're not able to control our realities, but we're not using all of our superpowers. You, my friend, are a superhero. You got the tools. And all throughout history, the universal gods have given us tools, and they give us tools like they teach us how to use energy. Like, for instance, do any of you out there use feng shui? And that is it's like the art of moving the things in your household so that the energy in your household moves correctly. And this is something that a lot of people are skeptical to, but it's also something that millions of people swear by. If you never heard about it, look it up, feng shui. But it helps the energy in your house. If you move certain things, if you paint your house in certain colors, it just brings the energy about. And if you just use all of these tools, like feng shui being one of them, you will become more powerful, because the energy that we give off is our creating power. And our creating power is unlimited because the universe is our extended body. So I said all that to say, today's artist of the day, I went on another soliloquy, but it's Last Emperor. And this joint, when I first came into hip-hop, it was one of my favorite songs to listen to. Last Emperor took all my favorite hip-hop MCs and put them in a versus battle with all my favorite superheroes. So this joint is called Secret Wars. It's by the Last Emperor. This is the song of the day. Shout out to the Last Emp. My name is Cymarshalllaw. We're going to come back with more Cymarshalllaw show. If you like the show, click link, click like, click subscribe, click like. Share it, give it to your friends. If you have friends out there that don't understand their superpowers and don't believe that they have unlimited creating powers, Share this show with them. They need to listen to it. Somebody needs to wake these people up. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to need all the powers we can get in the days ahead. Trust and believe. So my name is Cymarshalllaw. This is Cymarshalllaw Show, episode 65. You are a superhero, and this is The Last Emperor's Secret Wars. Let's go.
Uplifting cinematic experience.
I've got something important to tell you, man.
The big story is...
Dig this and dig it deep.
What if I had the power to gather all of my favorite MCs with the illest comic book characters and they became arch enemies? Inconceivable, unbelievable, yet as wild as it seems, the Emperor and Stan Lee will coach the two opposing teams. Keep it clean, no bats, no gats, guns, or interference. Comic book characters would go head up with raw lyrics. Now I take whoever might be on break from doing tours and have them sign up for the Last Emperor's Secret War. Sure, for that kind of capacity, we need a crazy large arena that might stretch from West Philadelphia to East Medina. If I'm able, I'd put it on pay-per-view through my label and give free tickets to my neighborhood bums with no cable. Yeah, that sounds fat. Now that we've squared away the propositions, let's begin with the ultimate tough man competition. Set it off, it's the fight of the century. KRS and Professor X would battle each other mentally with rhymes. These two team captains waste no time. Charles Xavier tried to invade Chris Parker's mind. He shot a cerebral probe at Chris's mind, but he missed it. Professor X taken out by the Blastmaster's metaphysics. Round 2, new fight, word of life, you gotta see this. Locked in Mortal Kombat is Doctor Strange and the Genius. Yeah, son, he's no match, let that grafted wizard have it. My liquid sword slashes straight through Doctor Strange's magic. Another hero down, and now the score is 2-0. My words from the Genius, and he's still my rhyming hero. Now the next fight was conducted in a rough-like manner, specifically between Reggie Noble and Dr. David Banner. Or should I say the Incredible Hulk when he's amped off the gamma? Well, Reggie Noble soon became the Incredible Red Man and slammed him. You know how Red Man gets when his adrenaline starts pumping. Started skitzing in the ring, so then the Thing tried to jump in. Ben Grimm leaps into the ring, and after Red Man he lunges, but Reggie Noble dropped him with 2 bricks and he punches. Rhymes by the bunches, bums get dirty in the Middle Eastern dungeons, ready to set this like Detective Columbo and his hunches. While the refs clean out the ring, cause the last fight was so intense, let's do a live interview with a brother named Common Sense.
Yeah, it's Common Sense. A nice man tried to freeze me, so I took him to Chicago and told him to take it easy. He couldn't see me with my Applejack hat and high tops. Colossus and Cyclops, I got no idea why not. Look at Common Sense, yo, that last album was tight. Let me get back to the ring and evaluate the next fight. Now the next fight had to be the craziest of all times. We got Dr. Octopus
Versus the mighty Buster
Doc
Rap.
Ock versus Buster? Man, that stuff is dead. He'll get his 8 arms ripped off going up against the Dread.
Ha! Now Dr. Octopus, who you think you grabbing? The God can never lose, so you know it will never happen. Lyrically making me sleepy, you need a nap when I slap you with my dreads. Lights out, you kiss the canvas.
Before my eyes, I see the demise of another superhero. Next up is Roscos versus Magneto. Now anything goes when Magneto battles foes, but Roscos had him shivering, delivering ultramagnetic blows. Magneto is now deceased, and a wise man said it best. The sun rises in the east, but they can still set it in the west. And with all these heroes down, Stan Lee refuses to surrender. He got stormed from the X-Men as if I couldn't match the gender. Stan Lee shouts,
Excelsior.
yo, Stan, you best to chill.
There's no match for
I guess
Storm.
he's never heard of Lauryn Hill. Now we all know Storm controls the temperature and weather. Started running off at the lip and El Boog was like, whatever. Since she just got home from tour, she's a bit too tired to spar. So she clocked Storm over the head with my man Wyclef's guitar. All silence has ceased, out of nowhere comes the beast. Versus J. Wu, the damager, the black prophet from the east. Releasing rhymes that will pound you into the ground. There'll be no round 2. Another victory for hip-hop by the dirty rotten scoundrel. Now the underground sewer system that lies deep below the ring is where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and DOS Effects do their thing. Leonardo and Donatello, they well know that we can do this.
So kick it, crazy, hit them both with raw. So it.
Now Raphael and Michelangelo, those 2 others who are brothers, book smacked them with the DOS Effects logo, the manhole cover. Whether you're plant or animal, vegetable or miggity mineral, before you step to DOS Effects, you best be hard like a criminal. Taking you back to ringside just when you thought it was over. The last battle was brought forth by G.I. Joe and Cobra. Mercenaries and soldiers, G.I. Joe was rolling thick, but I'll get the military of hip-hop, aka the boot camp clique. World War III for 98 in the wake of all these troops. I could see General Buckshot going toe-to-toe with Duke. Salute the captain for rapping, cause now we know who's hard. Catching wreck like stealing tech up against the Crimson Guard. Charging after you, smashing you, metaphorically bashing through the entire Joe team is OGC and Ruck the Irrational. Then all of a sudden I hear this real loud crack.
The military punisher, Big Rock, just broke roadblocks
Adding
back.
insult to injury to Stan Lee and his team. We've got Weapon X from Canada, aka Wolverine. You know the routine, his claws can rip rappers for days. But here comes the Method Man, aka Johnny Blaze. Wolverine, you can't hang when Cow doesn't sting. Paralyze you with the venom from the Method Man's fang. This is the final battle as the stratosphere gets darker. We got Nasir Jones versus Peter Parker. Nasty Nas, the halftime headringer versus the web slinger. Illmatic versus Radioactive in the rotten apple with a deadlinger. He cursed the day that Spider ever bit him. And and gave him a copy of the second LP it was written. For all up and coming MCs, I've got a question. If I made a Secret Wars Part 2, would your name even be mentioned? Would you make the final cut? I make the nicest give their titles up, writing rhymes / fighting crimes like the Blue Falcon and Dino Mud. Stick around for the next battle / adventure. And if you see Stan Lee, tell him the last emperor sent ya. Sent ya. Sent ya.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Cymarshalllaw show. That was The Last Emperor, Secret Wars. The Last Emperor is one of my favorite lyricists out of the underground. Brother's from Philadelphia, and he's been killing it for a very, very long time. He also has Secret Wars Part 2. Part 2 to that joint you just heard. So if you want to check that out, find it on YouTube. Just type in Last Emperor, Secret Wars, and support that brother. That was one of the most creative songs that I had ever heard at the time, and it goes to what I'm speaking about as far as imagination and creating things that are from nothing, because you know that shit is so dope to me. Like, how many people love comic books? How many people love hip hop? And to be able to like morph them together in that way, super dope, super dope, super dope. Shout out to The Last Emperor. He came out with another joint in 2018 called Jungle Gym, which is super dope, that I checked out. And also, I believe he's preparing another album very soon. But the last joint I heard him come out with is called Lord of the Fly with Hawk Fillmore. So check out Last Emperor from Philadelphia. I once did a show with that brother. Matter of fact, I did a show with him with Pumpkinhead, and I think it was Pac FM, and one other artist. It was Binghamton, New York, at Binghamton University. Shout out to Dan Shores. But yeah, man, I built a lot with Last Emperor that day, and it was dope. He gave me props, and it was one of my favorite days in hip hop. I definitely had the crowd rocking that day with the freestyle. But yeah, man. Shout out to Highs. I appreciate, brother. I appreciate the hoodies you can get at hiphopintheflesh.com. Yeah, man, I've been speaking about how everybody is a superhero, but not all of us use our powers. And some of the greatest superheroes that I've known in my life didn't have any powers. Like my mother is the greatest superhero I've ever known. And the power she always used was love in her heart. Sometimes, like, I'll give you a jewel. I mean, it actually is both of my parents. When I was 11 years old, I burnt down my house to a crisp. And I just knew I was going to get my ass beat by my parents. But they taught me the greatest lesson within that moment. And that was that love is the greatest superpower. Because you know what they did? Not only did they not beat my ass, they surrounded me with love and kindness and forgiveness. And because they did that to me that day, it changed my entire life. It made me understand just because someone who's done something wrong doesn't mean they're a bad person. And every superhero understands that. That's why the greatest superheroes don't kill people after they finish beating your ass. Because they understand in order to judge you, then they should be judged themselves. And that's what every person should know, even if you're not a superhero, that if you're able to take the credit from being a superhero, if you're able to take the applause, if you're able to take the praise from being a superhero, you have to be whole enough to understand when you've made a mistake or when you've had a flaw. Because even if you're a superhero, that doesn't mean you're not going to have a flaw. So if you're taking all the pats on the back, when you do something wrong, and you will, because we are human, you have to take that too. And the greatest superheroes in my life are the ones that are able to see when they need to work. You know, in movies, when a superhero gets their ass beat because they haven't done the things right, what do? They go into training. Like, y'all remember the Ninja Turtles joint when they got their ass whooped and they had to go and yeah, they had to go to that April O'Neil's summer or spring house or whatever and train because they weren't perfect. So all of us in this life, we're going to come up in certain places where we're not perfect, even if we're good people. And you'll understand if you have the caliber of the type of person that can be a superhero, if within your moments of not being perfect, because I know I've had them, If you're able to look at yourself and say, I need to improve, I can improve. If you can look at yourself honestly like that, then you're a superhero. Because you know how many people go out in this world and do fucked up fuckeries and never look at themselves in the mirror. They never look at themselves in the mirror and critique themselves. They never say, I'm wrong. I need to improve myself. I need to fix my superpowers because my shit ain't working correctly. Or I need to work on my mental state. I need to work on my heart. I need to work on myself. They just continue on and on and on. So you, my friend, if you have the balls, if you have the heart to look at yourself in the mirror when you're not being the best of yourself, you're a superhero to me. Because that takes strength and it takes bravery. And strength and bravery are two of the biggest superheroes traits, right? You are a brave person if you're able to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. Because every day you're going to cross people today you're going to walk past. And those people have looked themselves in the mirror this morning and lied to themselves. They told themselves like 10, 11 lies. Believed that shit and left their house. And then they out lying to other people about who they are. Because they're cowards. Superheroes aren't cowards. Superheroes are able to look themselves in the mirror and point out their own flaws and correct them. Those are the superheroes I want to be like. So you don't have to be perfect to be a superhero. You don't have to be someone who never ever messes up. That is like, now that's fantasy. That's fantasy. Because even when you feel like you're living a perfect life, even when you feel like you're doing all the right things, you better believe there's somebody out there with a perspective that believes you're doing all the opposite things of what you're doing. You can even look at like recently Captain America, Iron Man joined Civil War. You couldn't tell Iron Man he was doing the wrong thing. You couldn't tell Cap he was doing the wrong thing. But how could Captain America be bad? But Iron Man obviously. So no matter what you're doing in life, there's always going to be someone who sees what you're doing and doesn't appreciate, or excuse me, not appreciate is the right word. They don't see your vision because your vision could be totally different from theirs. And who knows? Maybe their vision is right. Maybe you are doing things that you don't see. And that's you know, the greatest superheroes do that. And that is why, I tell you something, growing up, my parents didn't really apologize to me too much, even if they were wrong. And that's something, you know, I love my parents. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just telling the truth. And that's what I'm always going to do on the show, just tell the truth. I'll tell my mom to this day. But for me, for my children, one of the things that I saw that I could increase my superpowers at is if I was honest with them. And when I had done something wrong, if I was able to show them that I was vulnerable and honest by telling them sorry. And telling them, because it's like, if you can be honest with a child of anyone that sees that you're supposed to be in this like authority figure type position, if you can look at someone you're supposed to be guiding and tell them like, I've done wrong, I can do better. The only thing it allows them to do is grow. It allows them to see that being perfect is not imperfectly perfect. I even came in with an album called that. Imperfectly perfect, meaning that we're always going to strive to be our best, or we should strive to be our best, but there's definitely going to be days where we're imperfect. And because we're imperfect those days, it doesn't mean that we still can't be super. Because not everybody's perfect, and everybody sees what you're doing with a different perspective, with a different eye. You know what I'm saying? So you could be doing things that you feel are the greatest, but you know what I'm saying? It all depends on your perspective, on other people's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Some of the greatest supervillains, Dr. Doom, Killmonger, whoever you want to name, Thanos, they all thought they were doing right. So you could be doing some fuck shit thinking you're doing right and be doing wrong. It's all on perspective. But it's always good to, you know, trance back to your heart. Your heart. Your heart. Use your heart like a GPS, like a navigational system. You know what I'm saying? And just know, monitor it when you have negative feelings, negative, you know, vibes coming to your heart. That probably means that you've probably been taking too much in from social media, TV, you know what I'm saying, talking around too many negative people. the greatest way to be a superhero, I'm always going to bring it back, is by treating yourself well. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't treat yourself well, then how can you ever expect to treat anybody else well? You know what I'm saying? That's just not something that's can really happen like that. Yeah, man. Speaking on, shout out to Highs, man. Shout out to Highs. Yo, I'm glad you've been working on yourself, brother. You know what else? I was checking out this weekend. I checked out Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I seen this last weekend, episode 5. They brought back Isaiah Bradley, and I don't know if a lot of y'all knew or y'all been checking out, but there was a black Captain America back in the day. Way before Falcon, because they bringing back Sam Wilson, aka Papa Doc, to be Falcon. But there was a black Captain America way back in the day, and they hid his truth. They had this brother going on all types of missions, and everything he did that was incredibly dope, the government hid it. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I watched that Falcon and the Winter Soldier joint, and I was just like incredibly inspired that someone was able to put the history of black people in the MCU, and it's been in there, but superheroes. Sometimes we don't always get the credit we deserve, and that's why I'm bringing up Isaiah Bradley. But yo, if y'all haven't checked out the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I highly suggest checking that out. But yeah, man, who do you know that's a superhero in your life? Who has it been? My children are my superheroes. My parents are my superheroes. My friends that have always been honest and always kept it real with me are my superhero friends. You know what I'm saying? If you're able to be honest with yourself, if you're able to inject love and positivity out into the world, then you are a superhero, my friend. You got to give yourself that credit. You know what I'm saying? Work on yourself, and others will see that and work on themselves too. And in this way, you will be a superhero, my friend. You'll be a superhero. So yeah, man, I wanted to get into the news of the day, and I do not have that much news. Again, I'm sorry, I was in Maryland the whole weekend, or maybe not the whole weekend, but a day and a half, and I had to drive back and forth there. The main piece of news that I heard, I woke up this morning and it was kind of shocking to me. 12 of the biggest teams in Europe have decided to leave the UEFA FIFA leagues. They're going to be making their own Super League. These teams include the likes of my favorite team, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Yo, you know what, Marvin? My big brother is my favorite superhero. To keep it 100. Shout out to Skit Slam. But yeah, so all these big teams are leaving the UEFA leagues, and they're leaving the little guys to be the little guys, and they're taking all their money and they're taking their ball and they're going to make their own league. I don't know what's going to come of this, but it's not the end of it, and I feel like it just goes to show that the world is changing in multiple different ways right now. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing in the end. Every time there's big changes within a sport, whether it's basketball or football, soccer, whatever it is, I tend to think that they might end up trying to take sports away from us eventually. They might try to take art away from us. It's like movies like Ready Player One. I feel like we might be ending up or going towards something like that, and it's kind of scary. I don't trust any of it, man. I was just watching, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like I said, and on there, they brought up the Tuskegee Airman experiments, and they brought up how they shot up. They told a lot of the black people back then that they were giving them a cure, and they actually were injecting them and using them as guinea pigs. So a lot of times nowadays, when they're asking us to take all these vaccines or whatever, I just keep thinking like, yo, I don't know if that's what I wanna be doing, because you never know where the future's going, and there are supervillains out there. Just like there are good people, there are terrible people, and I don't know if I can trust them all. But yeah, man, who's that? That's Paris that says shout out to Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead was a superhero to me. Pumpkinhead was a superhero to me. Let me pause this for a second. Pumpkinhead was a superhero to me because he was one of the most incredibly talented artists that I've ever known, and he always gave me credit. And I I say he's a superhero because a lot of times people in positions of power or people who do great things don't give other people props or credit because they're like, if I give this person props or credit, I'm going to reveal to them that they are my competition, or I'm going to reveal to them that they can be great. And it's like some people don't feel like there's enough room for everybody to shine, but you know you're dealing with a superhero when they don't mind you shining as well. Sometimes you're in a room with someone and it's like that person just has to get all the attention. They're doing all the talking. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. But it's like superheroes walk into a room and the attention comes to them. They don't have to go looking for it. It's who they are. It's a magnetic energy that people can feel without you doing anything. So yeah, Pumpkinhead. He was the type of person who would always give credit to people who were doing great things. And, you know, one of my most favorite underground artists, or just artists in general. And you will forever live long, my friend. Rest in peace, rest in power. Pumpkinhead. But yeah, we're all superheroes. Who else is a superhero in your life? You got your brothers, your sisters, you know what I'm saying? We got people we look up to. You know what I'm saying? A lot of sports players say I am not a role model, and I give props to the ones that take it on the chin and accept the fact that they might just be that. So I'm going to go ahead and end out the show here, and now, Marvin, what's happening in Qatar? Germany's been pretty loud about not competing there. Actually, I started to read it this morning, but I didn't go fully into it. But yo, just soccer in general, or football. Marvin, or you know, world. I was born in England, so we call it football there. But I'm always going back and forth because I don't want to confuse people who are listening. Yo, I want to know. Actually, that's a good question. Who was the person that decided, oh, we know there's another sport called football. We're just gonna go ahead and call this other sport football anyway. Like, who did that? Who did that? That sounds like some American shit to do. Like, yo, there was one first. There was one sport first, whether it was American football or soccer or football. And I believe it was football, you know, the one you kick with your foot. I believe that was there first. So whoever created American football definitely was, I'm just going to steal their name. Come on, yo. Americans just out here stealing shit. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So Marvin's saying people been building up Qatar in preparation for the World Cup, and they've been dying out there doing it. I need to look into that because the only Qatar I knew was the one that began with a Q. This one, Qatar, and I think like the Olympics or World Cup was already there. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. I'm gonna look into it and bring it back next week. Damn, there was something last show I said I was gonna bring up this week. What was it? Somebody had asked me, and I said I would bring it up this week. It might have been you, Paris. I can't remember. However, I'm gonna go ahead and end out the show here. I love y'all. We're gonna have a great Monday, rest of the week. I'm gonna end out with the quote of the day. If you enjoyed the show, click subscribe, share it. My friends, you are superheroes. Do something super today. Go out and do something randomly kind for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Do something so kind that the person has to look at you in your eye and wonder if you are a real life superhero. It's going to come back for you, my friend. The universe is our extended body, and the things we put out come back. Yeah, man. The quote of the day, the quote of the day, the quote of the day. Let me turn the beat down. Cymarshalllaw, the quote of the day is by William Hazlitt. Goes a little something like this. Hit it. No man is truly great who is great only in his lifetime. The test of greatness is the page of history. By William Hazlitt. I'll read it one more time. No man is truly great who is great only in his lifetime. The test of greatness is the page of history. William Hazlitt. My name is Cymarshalllaw. This has been an episode of the Cymarshalllaw Show. Peace. Oh, Paris. It was, you know what? All right, Paris. We're going to talk about that next Wednesday. Matter of fact, it's a good thing to talk about on Wednesday because it's kind of like a movie. So I'm going to bring it up with Ace. I'm going to make sure he watched it. So, you know, we can talk about it on movie day. You know, Wednesday is movie and book day on the Cymarshalllaw show. So I'll see y'all back here on the 21st of April. And we're going to talk about the Bel Air. You know what, Paris? I wonder if we're even talking about the same thing because you keep saying the Bel Air, the new Fresh Prince reboot. So I wonder if you're talking about the same thing I saw. It was like a real reality like Fresh Prince. Anyhow, we'll get into it on Wednesday. I'll talk about it first thing. Matter of fact, I'll write it down so I remember. So my name is Cymarshalllaw. Peace, love, and positive energy. Good vibrations all around. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. Peace, love, and I'm out. Like that.